I mean, we should also note that there is actually, it's always worth finding some optimism at the end, a growing chorus of voices saying, look, we reached the point of diminishing returns. Let's just stop the war, freeze it now, declare a triumph, and move on. And this is something that is increasingly public, in it being articulated in the press by experts. This is nothing that wasn't being said behind closed doors in previous years, but now it's being said publicly. And it's being associated with people like Sergei Kirienko, the first deputy head of the presidential administration, and by no means some kind of maverick voice. If he is allowing this to be said and supporting this perspective, then it's because a green light has been given by the boss that allows there to be some kind of a debate. Now, that doesn't mean for a moment that Putin necessarily is going to be convinced by it. But nonetheless, it is interesting as a sign of the times that there is now can't call it a dove perspective, but a pragmatic perspective against the hawks who say, no, we just have to continue, and victory is just over the horizon, just as it's always been just over the horizon for a long time. The problem is this, that in a way, everyone agrees that the war has to end soon because the damage being done to Russia is too great. So the pragmatists are saying, so just end it. Just forget that last 20% of the Donbass. Who needs Slavyansk and so forth? Especially because otherwise, by the time we took it, it would just be a rubbled plain that we'd have to rebuild anyway. There's also a hawk escalation perspective, though, that says, yeah, you're right. We can't let this war continue. We need to end it soon. And the way to end it soon is to go in harder. That maybe we do need to have another mobilization wave, however politically unpopular that is. Maybe we need to send in conscripts. Remember, there's about 150,000 conscripts they could send in who up to now have not been sent in, because again, it would be politically massively disruptive. But the point is, if you want to suddenly turn on the tap and have extra troops, you've got them. Or again, I don't think we're going to go to the level of the use of tactical nuclear weapons. But nonetheless, there are escalatory options at Putin's disposal. And they might say, look, this is going to be incredibly unpopular and disruptive, but better to have a few months of unpopularity and impose an end to the war on our terms. And then we can move on. So I think we're in an interesting and problematic juncture, is that I think everyone is beginning to accept that this war cannot be allowed to roll on indefinitely. The question is whether the answer is to stop the war or to escalate the war.